Well, hello there. I got given a challenge by a very good friend of mine. The challenge was to fix an electronic item of his, get it working again. And the prize for completing the challenge successfully was that I get to keep it for myself. Now, of course, I said, sure, I'll happily take a look at anything. He told me it was a laptop, and I've never really repaired a laptop before. I've serviced a few for sure, but I've never really fixed one before. And I said, well, what's wrong with it? And he said his son spilt coffee all over it. And I said, oh dear, well, that's not very good. Anyway, he said he's since replaced the laptop, and this one, the one that he's given me, is out of warranty. So he doesn't want it back if I can get it fixed. I thought it'd be an interesting challenge. Then I asked, when did this happen? And he said, about 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago, and there's coffee spilt in it. And he says it does switch on, but it switches off again. He's fairly certain one of the RAM cards has blown. So he gave me a few spares. Now in this little packet here, we've got two M.2 NVMe SSDs, and we've got two 16GB sticks of RAM. I don't have to worry about replacing the RAM. I've got the RAM here. The laptop itself is a Dell Precision 5550. And it is a really nice laptop. It's got an aluminium case, beautiful, and it is an absolutely cracking piece of technology. However, it's filthy. I don't currently have a charger for it. I will have one, however, in a few days. But even if I did, I probably wouldn't plug it in, just to be on the safe side, until I got it open and at least had a look what kind of damage had occurred. Now, my friend, he said the coffee spill was on the keyboard, and it may have gone through to the board. It was a funny story, really, because he was working from home at the time, and he left his desk unattended for about 0.3 of a second, turned his back, and his son decided to tip his coffee all over his laptop, which I can imagine didn't go down very well. So in this video, I'm going to be starting it off by cleaning it. It will be over several days because, like I said, I don't have a charger for it. So we're going to just get into it, see if there's any visible signs of damage, replace anything that we need to, and yeah, try and get this laptop up and running. Because if I can, I'll get myself a very nice laptop. A big shout out to my friend. I won't name him, but you know who you are. It was very generous of you to offer this opportunity to repair this laptop. So yeah, let's just get into it and let's see if there really is coffee in that nebula. Okay, so starting off, you can probably tell this is filthy. This has been sat apparently in a cupboard for 2 years. I'm not optimistic about how much damage there is and corrosion there is. I know what corrosion can do to a board, but hopefully it didn't get that far. Now, I've already accepted the fact that I may need to get a replacement keyboard. The keyboard itself is a little sticky. The screen is absolutely filthy. Does it pass the one-handed open test? It does. The base stays. Now, you can probably see it is absolutely filthy. The screen itself is also really nasty, so that's going to need a full clean as well. The replacement keyboard, I believe, is actually this entire top section. From what I've been researching, everything's very sticky. Some of the buttons are sticking, the shift key sticks down. There is a faint aroma of coffee that I can smell. However, I'm currently suffering from a cold, which I've had for about a week, and it refuses to go away. So yeah, my sense of smell not being great at this point. Let's get it open and let's see what we're dealing with here. looks like we're in. That smells very coffee-like, which is surprising because after 2 years it still smells like coffee. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of coffee spill residue. That is all over the board. God knows what that's done to the board. It's all over the battery. There's no sign of any bulging or anything, which is nice. It's very much all over the place. That's not good. I'm definitely seeing some residue here on the RAM chip. The fans actually look like the cleanest part. I think there's two ports for the SSDs. There's one here and one here. I think this is going to be an SSD port. In here we have a 512 gigabyte Gen 3 NVMe SSD. Okay, the board is out. Are we ready to see the state of the underside of this board? 3, 2, 1. You know what? That looks pretty good. Certainly got some corrosion on the outside plane. A little bit of corrosion here and there, but this side of the board is actually, believe it or not altogether that bad. We will go through and just give it the best clean that we can. terms of the mouse pad, it's not too bad, to be fair. Okay, so this is actually quite good news, because this has had immense coffee spill, as you can quite plainly see. You can get the entire bottom unit, the entire cover of this, and as a replacement. So it replaces the entire unit, and I think the mouse pad comes with it as well. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's the entire of this cover. So I might actually just say screw it, and I might order one, because why not? It's got all the connections you need. Yeah, I'll just order one of those up. I think that would be infinitely better than trying to salvage this one. And provided nothing's blown on the board, I've only spent 50 quid. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get on with cleaning up all of the other parts, and hopefully everything will be ready to just go back into the new case. I'm going to leave this bottom on for now, just to protect the screen, because why not, at the end of the day. Salvage any other parts that I need, but I don't think I do need anything else. Like I say, this could be a monumental risk, but it also could be just me spending £50 just to get it fixed, which is a very small price to pay for what I'm getting. So yeah, we'll wait for the new part to arrive. I'll get on with the cleaning. Okay, so we do have some problem areas. I have already gone and taken a look on the board. I'll be honest with you, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, really. It could be a lot worse. The SSD connectors might need a little bit of attention, but they look all right. There's a little bit of attention required down here. There's a little bit of spill damage there. We'll do our best to clean up that. I believe that to be the Wi-Fi. All in all, this is actually not looking too bad. The area of concern that I had was, are you ready? Here, the keyboard connector, because it looks like the coffee has just dribbled straight through. It doesn't look to be too bad. This thermal paste is bone dry. That is, how do we say, crispy. Yeah, on the underside of the board, just a few problem areas. This one here needs a bit of looking at, but from what I can tell, there's no blown components. Now, for this clean, I'm going to be using some IPA, or some isopropyl alcohol, and a very, very light brush to try and work some of this off. I'm going to be generous with the IPA because it doesn't do it any harm, and it evaporates quite quickly. So let's get started. Okay, so it is several days later and the baseboard has arrived. This is a replacement keyboard, and yeah, it is brand spanking new. I'm going to swap over the coffee stained part for this part, and then we'll get everything back together and we'll see if this thing powers up. Oh, that looks nice and clean. So I'm going to get it swapped over. I'm going to get the old one off and let's get the new one on. Okay, so that's this laptop back together. I do now have a charger for it, so we're going to test that and see if it goes bang. I don't expect it will, but you never know. Okay, so we're going to plug this in, and I'm looking for some sort of light or indicator to say that it's actually going to work. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1. We have a charge indicator here. Let's at least try and switch it on. Let's see if anything happens. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, we have life. I hear the fan going and it's shut down. Let's try again. We have a Dell symbol! Yes! I can feel the fans going. Okay, this is all good. Now, it does have new RAM configuration, obviously, so that might cause it to wonder what the hell is going on, because the last time it didn't have this much RAM or a second SSD, so it could be trying to sort itself out. So let's just... Holy hell! We've got it! We've got it! Yes! 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 It works! The damn thing works! Right now, it's just going through the setup, so I'm not going to... I've got my fingers crossed, but I'm not going to get too excited here. Well, at least I'm going to try not to get too excited here. Ran into a problem and needs to restart. So it's a couple of days later and I've been testing this laptop for the last few days. Overall, it's working pretty well in terms of operationally. It is exhibiting some strange behaviours. I did open it up again and I will show some footage of that when I opened it up. And I did find that the clean that I did pretty much wasn't sufficient. This is coffee that we're dealing with at the end of the day. It does tend to stain. Now I've got some contact cleaner arriving very shortly, so I'm going to get this board back out of this laptop, because it needs further attention, and I'll be doing some close-up cleaning to try and get rid of anything that might be causing a problem. So the laptop is working. All the features and functions are working on it. It does need a damn good clean on the screen because, as you'll be able to tell in a few moments, the screen is pretty dirty. I'm going to shut it down. Now, one of the other things this laptop was doing was switching itself on randomly. Which is the exact opposite as to what it was originally doing, which was switching itself off randomly. I did have a few issues along the way with the power. I'd plug it in whilst it was switched off and it wouldn't switch on. It did have the charge indicator light lit, so the battery was getting charged. And then I'd unplug it, I'd try to switch it on again, it still wouldn't switch on, and a couple of minutes later it just randomly switched itself on. So there's still a little bit of work to do with this. I think the board needs another deep clean. So let's get into it, let's get this board as clean as we can get it, and then see if there's any further problems down the line. Now, as you saw before, I was really thorough with my cleaning on this board, but I just don't think I've gotten enough of it up. We had a significant amount of staining here around this area. This was the cap that was looking a little bit worse for wear. I'm hoping that will just clean up, but I'm not entirely certain. I think it will, but it was essentially brown all the way around here. There's a big brown blob. I don't think it's blown, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. There's a little bit of stickiness around here. As you can see here, there's just bits that have been missed, bits that I wouldn't have spotted with the naked eye. So I'm going to come in with some IPA again and give it a good scrub with a toothbrush. I've not come across any loose components yet, so that's really good. But the contact cleaner should pick up the rest. This connector here has me a little concerned because of it randomly switching on whenever it wants. You can still see some residue. It's very subtle, but it is there on some of those pins. Again, down here, this area here, that was pretty disgusting. I've got some around the edge of the board. Down in between here looks a bit grim. Now the contact cleaner I've got, I can't get any BW100 like Steve from Tronics Fix gets because it's from the States. It will take way too long to get here. There's a little bit there. You can see where it's under where it says JDI MM2. There's also what appears to be a line there of relative crustiness, as you can see. It looks more like crystallized coffee for certain. There's a bit of adhesive there as well, but yeah, you see it's crumbly. So the first clean I did clearly wasn't good enough. I'm definitely not happy with that. I can't get under that to clean it. It won't come off without desoldering. But as you can see, there's a coffee drip all the way down from the fan, where the fan would be, to that module. So in there is probably not looking very pretty at all. Yeah, that looks pretty good under there. I'm not too fussed. Yeah, I'd say the underside of this has got to be cleaned as well. Oh, yeah, there. That's not looking too good right now, is it? It did appear that capacitor there did take some pretty hefty caffeine flow. We'll clean the chips up, get this thermal paste off, and go from there.
just going to get this thermal pad off as well and replace it with some extra thermal pad. Surefire mark quality when you can't even get into it. You made me break out the big guns. So yeah, I'm going to cut it to roughly the same size. The other backing off, and I have a sneaky suspicion that this has to be pulled off, and this came out of the factory like that, which is surprising. But yeah, because that won't be thermally conducting anything. Okay, the contact cleaner has arrived. It's WD-40 and it's recommended for circuit boards and such. Hopefully it will give it a little bit more of a clean than IPA. So let's just clean all the connectors. I'm just going to use this old connector and the clean side of this old connector just to run it back and forth within these pins, just to try and rub away anything that might be there. Okay, and we'll let that dry. Shouldn't take too long, and we'll get the board back into the chassis. But I'm just going to give it a wipe down along the edges of the screen and clean the top as well. Ah, that's looking no end better. So we'll open it up, we'll see if it actually switches on. Oh, we have life. That's definitely life. There we go. We've got the Dell symbol. Oh, yes! That's gotten into the operating system. And there we go. That is now working. Let's see if it actually charges. Okay, that says charging. Got the little charge symbol there. That says it's charging. Now that's very different behavior. That is really good news. What I've done is I've put a little a USB drive into this docking station for the Dell. Beforehand, that wasn't working. That wasn't recognizing any drives or anything. It was powering the items, but it wasn't recognizing it before I did that cleanup on the USB-C on the main motherboard. That's different behavior, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to shut the computer down. I'm going to see if it stays shut down, because that'll be really telling. I'll be obviously doing a lot more testing off camera, I mean, so far that's staying off. If I unplug it, so let's plug it in and see if that boots it up. Now that's booted it up. I'm not certain whether that should actually do that. I don't know whether putting it into the docking station or if there's a setting to change that happening or stop that from happening. But that's booted it back up again. I mean, that's charging, so plugging it in will switch it on, which again might be a power setting that I can change. I'm fairly certain I'm going to have to do more testing on this, but that is already miles better performance and miles better behavior than what we're actually getting. I do have to change the time because currently it's about a good 3 hours out, obviously because I've had it disassembled for 3 hours. So yeah, with this Dell laptop, after 2 pretty comprehensive cleans, I can say that it is actually working. Now I'm going to do further testing with this, and I will update everybody on my Discord as to whether or not this laptop actually continues to behave the way it should, rather than very randomly starting up and shutting down. The laptop is still a little bit warm in certain places, but Dells do get hot when they do things like updates or installations or anything like that. So I'm going to do a few days testing, but I'm calling this fixed because it is indeed working. There's actually nothing that's not working on this laptop. So to my friend who gave me this challenge, I thank you for doing so. It was a very interesting challenge to undertake. I thank you very much, and thank you for the laptop. It is a fantastic item to actually keep. There is one more thing, however, before I go, that I feel that I must do in order to complete this entire experience. This laptop is, of course, not an i7. It is indeed an i9. So we're going to turn it back into an i9 by taking the sticker off the original keyboard, which, as you know, it was looking pretty sad for itself. The most coffee stained unit I've ever known. I might actually frame this, to be fair, and give it back to my friend. That would be quite funny. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for coming with me on this fantastic experience. And now I have to admit, I'm very, very, very happy because I've got myself a relatively modern laptop and it seems to be working just fine, fingers crossed. So yeah, this has been a fantastic experience. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel because it would be fantastic for me to take on bigger repairs like this, certainly with more expensive equipment. And until the next time, you look after yourselves, look after one another, take care. Bye bye for now.